And we got that done. And now I'm going to go live. And then I will share this video on dozoom.com in Facebook, which is a group that Miss Willerton set up, Mama Judy. And we'll be getting started here in just a minute. Again, guys, send out a last-minute text to your team. Make sure that they jump on here because there's always some fun stuff shared. Team rise. Almost there, almost there. All right, here we go. Think I got it. Think I got it. So welcome everyone. Welcome to another Mindset Monday, where we help you get your mindset right on a Monday, because Monday is like Sundays for some people. Whatever, that was terrible. So it's always exciting to do these calls, especially knowing that now it's being promoted to everyone, and I really have to watch what I say, which is really hard because my wife has basically let me know that she uses the term diarrhea of the mouth, and I have no filter. So God knows what in the world's going to come out of my head. Who knows what in the world I'll say, but I always do my best not to offend people. And one of the most amazing things, and if you guys have been getting on these calls for any length of time over the last couple of weeks, we talk about the fact that people are nuts, right? And the fact that they're crazy. And one of the beautiful parts about that is people are so amazing how they can find ways to get offended by things or use things to hold themselves back. And what I like to try to share with people is, you know, the more that you can be open and aware of just recognizing the way that you feel and realizing, like, does this serve me? Does this help me move to the next level? Or is this something I'm using to hold myself back? You can use things to propel yourselves forward. So today I'm going to invite a couple people on just to kind of share their perspective of what has happened for them and people that have been with this company for a length of time, and also going through that roller coaster that we all go through in this crazy thing called life, where our emotions and our belief systems and all these things do this. It's like a roller coaster. So it's a matter of having an awareness of, one, how you feel and how you come across, and what you'll also recognize as we talk about these things is I'm going to talk about some skill sets, and I'm also, it's funny because you'll hear me talk about how, you know, you already have every seed that you need, and you need to just go out there and do it. But then you'll also hear me say, you have to make your skills better, and you have to whatever. And you're like, well, wait. And, you know, I'll say things like, you know, everything you do needs to duplicate. And then I'll also say, duplication is a myth. Like, how in the world can you say everything needs to duplicate, but then duplication is a myth? And you got to just be able to break things out in context. And, you know, yes, you want everything to duplicate, but the bottom line is personalities are not duplicatable. And it's a matter of duplicating a system, not necessarily duplicating personalities. So we talk about being normal and being yourself. And if you're being yourself, but then trying to act like somebody else, that's weird, right? So you don't want to duplicate someone else based on their personality, even though it might get them results. But what you want to duplicate is a system that everyone can do. So nobody's normal, Nick. That's the challenge. We're all a bunch of whack jobs, especially people that are in network marketing, because you guys have already broken the mold. Because if we look at the school system, what is the school system? In fact, don't take my word for it. the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, wrote a book called Rich Kids, Smart Kids. And what he talks about in that book is that the school system was designed to create good soldiers and good workers, but not independent thinkers. So we've all been taught philosophies, you know, the only way to become successful is go to school so you can get a good education, so you can get a good job, right? Or a scholarship to go to more education. And basically, so where you can, and the better education you get, the more degrees you get, the better job you get and all that stuff. In fact, I saw Lauren earlier post today that she's like, I had $400,000 in education, right? So people will spend tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars to get an education to be able to go get a job. It's amazing. But then they will say that they're skeptical in terms of building a business, like that just seems risky. You mean you're gonna spend $49 to get started in a business? Oh my gosh, what if it doesn't work, right? Well, what if it does work? I mean, guys, the bottom line is that's why I joke around in these calls and stuff like that and say that, you know, we're all a bunch of freaks, because we all broke the mold. And we're doing things that some might say, well, that's weird. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Well, guys, because of what we've been able to do, there's many people, even on this call, that their lives have absolutely changed forever because they took action in a home-based business. And I believe that this is the most pure sense of entrepreneurship and free enterprise that there is on the planet today. And this is an opinion. It's also pretty much fact. The fact that somebody can invest, you know, literally under $1,000 and have a business that can pay them over $1 million a year, there's not an investment out there that can do that. And that's why this is so cool that people can get started. And like, let's just use real estate for an example. It's a great place where you can own your job and you're self-employed and you get to decide what you're worth, and that's awesome. Or even as a insurance agent, might even be cooler because there's a residual income in insurance. But this is a reality. You can only sell so many policies. But the broker of that agency can not only get paid on what you do, but gets paid on all the other employees that they have in that office. And that's beautiful. The problem or the challenge with that is the fact that there's only one broker. There can only be one broker, and the challenge with that is that it's not you. So they don't want to teach you everything that they knew, because if they taught you everything that you knew, then they just train the competition. Where in this industry, we want to teach you everything that we know. We want you to become better than we are. We want you to far succeed the people that basically brought you on board. But with that, before I go off on, you know, a total tangent, which I will do multiple times during this call, I'm going to bring on a couple people just to share their perspective and kind of what their experience has been, and more importantly, kind of what they've noticed, like with this new product that we have with the Max, because it's mind-blowing what's been going on. So why do we always talk about stories, and why do we talk about the ATM system, add people to groups and tag them in a message and then maybe put them in a messenger thread with someone else? It's because facts tell and stories sell. So when we talk about how you don't have to have skill sets to really go out and build this business, that is true because we have a system that does it for you. Yet you do need to have skill sets in communication in general. If you want to be able to build a huge team and to be able to bring this thing to the next level, the better we get at communicating with people, the bigger a business we can build. So with that being said, I'm going to bring in a young lady that's an absolute rock star that, you know, I've been now knowing for almost 2.5, almost 3 years, and got started right there after we did. And she's just been totally rocking it out. So Lisa, are you available to jump on real quick and kind of share the story you shared with us earlier today, or whatever you want?
Yeah. Can you hear me, Chris?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Hi guys, my name is Lisa Yan. I'm from Rochester, New York. Like Chris said, I started with the company almost 3 years ago, and I've been on the products this whole time, and I've lost over 45 pounds, and I've managed to keep it off the whole time. And obviously, you know, the last couple months were a little crazy, so I fluctuated between 5 and 10 pounds. And the Saturday before, I had taken a picture. If any of you are friends with me on Facebook, you saw that I posted my testimony last week, or a picture on Facebook. But when I was in Daytona last month, or May, sorry, and the Saturday before Father's Day, I had went shopping, and I bought a pair of jeans and I bought a pair of overalls that I've been wanting, and I knew I needed to go up a size because they already run small. And so I got home and I went to try the overalls on, and they literally didn't even get up on my hips, and I was like, oh heck no, like I was not happy. And my girlfriend was like, just take them back and get a bigger size. I said, that would mean 10. And that means no way. I worked way too hard to get to single digits. I'm not going back to double digits. Not happening. So I literally went for a walk that night. And so I kept thinking all night, like, what had I done different from what I did 2 years ago, or almost 3 years ago when I got started? And I realized that a couple of things had changed. I had changed. I mean, obviously I was cheating a little bit. I was having that Coke here, or I was having that candy bar there, whatever, the candy. But what I also stopped doing, I stopped working out. I stopped using the keto cray in my coffee. And either earlier that week or around that same time, Garrett had shared that he was drinking 2 cups of coffee a day and 1 meal and walking. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put that into my daily routine. And I haven't weighed myself, but I did try. I've lost over 3 inches in my hips, thighs, and in my waist. And the overalls are on and zipped, not ready for wearing out, but they are on and zipped all the way up. So that's what I just did. And, you know, so when we were talking about this earlier, you know, it's not that the product's not working. It's something, you know, we have to, I've talked about this on my team trainings too, is that we have to really look at what we're doing. And sometimes it's us, you know, the product is going to work for us. We just have to also do what it needs, you know, help it along a little bit. So just reevaluate what it is that you're doing, because a lot of times it's us, it's not the product. And so once I switched it back to what I was doing before and started using the keto cray and, you know, doing the 2 cups a day, and I do take 2 Xanthamax a day. I haven't had ice cream. I haven't had snacks in almost 3 weeks. Like, I am full and I feel just as happy. And I was telling them on the call earlier that I may still have a couple things of version 1 left. And so I wanted to do my own little comparison, because so many people say that they missed version 1. And so I did a week of version 1, and I felt great. I wasn't hungry. I wasn't, you know, all that stuff was great. But then I did a week of max, and the hunger, that all of that was the same, you guys. But what I can tell you was that if I was happy here on 1, my happiness on max was up here. Like, I can't even, it's just like, my one girlfriend says you can smell color, like that. It was just, that's how I feel on max. And I even did a comparison, the US version to the Canadian version, and I'm all up here with version, the US version over the Canada. So that's just my personal, but if you guys, I mean, I know not many people have version 1 left, but if you don't believe me, play around. I think even Tommy was on here and he said he played around with taking nitro again, and he couldn't believe after taking max. So, you know, do your own little thing, but just really sit back and reevaluate, you know, what it is that you're doing different than maybe what you did, and do a reboot. You know, don't take it for 4 or 5 days and see how you really feel without the product in your system, and shock your system that way. So I don't know. How was that, Chris?
Thank you so much, Lisa. And you did say that you started exercising again, correct?
Yeah, so I just basically either I go for a 30 to an hour walk, at least 3 miles. And then on the days that I'm not walking, I just, in my room, because the gyms here in New York are still not open, I just kind of made up my own little circuit workout. I'll do kind of like if you were at the gym, I'll do a station of sit-ups, then I'll do some squats, and then I'll go back to the sit-ups. So I just kind of, do that for 30 minutes. And I've just been alternating it, either 2 days of that and then 2 days of walking, or I try and do every other. And I think since I started, I think I've taken 2 days off totally. And I have a pool, so I've also done some like 30-minute workouts in the pool as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely.
I wanted to bring that up because, so many times, and this is the deal, in marketing and sales, there's always a sale being made, but it's really a transfer of belief is what sales and marketing is. It's basically helping your belief bleed off onto someone else. And many times what will happen, especially for new people when we get started in something like this, people will tell them, well, it didn't work for me, or it didn't this, or it didn't that. And you have to learn how to ask questions, because people set themselves up with a story that they tell themselves, and they want to create problems so where they get to be right. And it's crazy. So they will set things up and well, I've tried everything and it doesn't work. Well, first off, it's impossible to try everything for anything. It's impossible to say, well, I've heard people say, I've talked to everyone and who's everyone? And everyone is like 2 people. So you need to figure out, and ask those questions to find out what. And what I'm going to share with you, I don't really promote it as a weight loss, even though my dad has lost 120 pounds on this product. And guys, he's been on version 1, he's been on version 2, he's been on version 3. He was on the Nitro. I just switched him over to the Max. And he lost weight on every single one of them. That whole process was on all the products. So when people say, one over and all that other kind of stuff. So what I will say is this. It's no more scientific than this. Eat less, move more, lose weight. It's pretty much, that's it. There is no, if you eat less, it's caloric intake versus caloric, usage is where weight loss comes from. There's no silver bullet, there's no secret, there's no whatever. If you eat less and you burn more calories than what you took in, you're going to lose weight, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So with that being said, I'm going to bring in someone that is a master at weight loss. And in fact, he tries to defy the weight loss properties. No, I'm joking. But a good friend of mine that's been, totally rocking out the business, but he's a ton of fun, and he told us the story earlier today, and I just wanted him to share that or whatever else he wants to share. Tommy, are you out there, brother?
I'm a master of weight loss? That's awesome to know.
He told the story. I'm like, wow, this guy's amazing. He's learned everything.
Well, you know what? To be fair, I've probably lost 1,000 pounds in my life. Because as soon as I hit 30 years old, I'd gain 5 pounds, right? And while I was 30, and then, right before I'm about to hit 31, I'd have to take that 5 pounds off. So I'd take it right off, no problem. And then I'd gain back 10. And then, when I'm 32, I need to take that 10 off, no problem. And then when I'm 33, I gain back 15. It's like every year you gain back just a little bit more. Because all you do is you change your lifestyle. I remember it was so easy for me to lose weight. I would go on this little binge right around after Christmas, and I would say, you know what? I'm just going to work out. I have a gym right in my house, I'm going to work out in the gym. I'm going to go on the treadmill, and I'm going to lift weights, and I'm going to eat broccoli, and I'm going to not eat this and not drink that, and it would be no problem. I'd lose the weight, and then all of a sudden, this same thing happened every year. It became summer, and then in the summer, you have to start eating and drinking all those things you love again, and you don't have time to work out. Plus, it's too hot. Who has time? So you gain back the. That's what I just did. That was like a cycle of my whole life. And then when I reached my 50s, I was like, you know what? I just don't even care anymore. I'm in my 50s. I'm going into the second half here, and I'm just gonna eat and drink whatever I want, and the hell with the weight. I don't care anymore. And that was really my position when I was introduced to this stuff. This crazy coffee that my friend Mark it's funny. I knew my friend Mark. I'd known him from 10 years before in a different network marketing business. I've been in network marketing for 22 years. I love it. I don't have any negative images about network marketing. I love almost everything about it. I mean, there's a lot I hate about it, but I mean, I love it because I know, like Chris was saying earlier, you know, it's it's an alternative that's just way better than everything else. And I wasn't interested in getting involved in this company. I just thought it sounded stupid. Happy Coffee, what? Like, really? I'm going to try to tell that to my friends at a party? I'll stop getting invited to parties. And I like getting invited to parties. So I wasn't real interested in Happy Coffee. And when my friend gave it to me, you know, Mark, I said, listen, I'm real happy for your success. He told me how great the company was. And he didn't get into it. Like, he didn't like give me facts and scientific notations and ingredient lists. And he didn't explain, you know, dopamine and oxytocin and all that kind of crap. He just said, Tommy, do you drink coffee? And I said, yeah. And he said, here. That was it. He said, do you drink coffee? And he said, here. That was it. That was all he had to do to sponsor me, because I took that coffee, I went home, and the coffee changed my life. And when it changed my life, I said, I want a part of this. Everybody I know is going to want it. So I joined the business, you know, and now the rest is history. So, you know, ultimately on these probably it's funny. We talk about all these versions, version 1, version 2. I mean, to me, I don't even care. Whatever it was, I drank it. And every morning when I wake up, I drink a cup of it with keto cream, because that's how I drink my coffee, with creamer. It used to be half and half. Now it's a scoop of keto cream. And then that reminds me, I need to reorder because I'm getting low, and that would be horrible if I ran out. And you know what? I don't need to be trained how to drink coffee. I drink coffee every morning when I wake up, and I have been since I was in my 20s. And you know, truly, I get upset when the cup's gone. Like, when it's getting down to the end, I'm like, oh man, it's gone. Like, because I don't want to try to drink 2, because I think it would like freak me out. Maybe I'm crazy, but I drink my 1 cup, and I'm upset when it's over. You know, kind of like going to a great party, it's over. Anyway, gang, to nip that all in the bud, I lost 43 pounds just drink. I'm 6'1". I'm fairly tall, I guess, and I weighed 260 pounds when I took my first sip of this coffee. Again, 260 pounds by choice, because I never accidentally ate anything. But 20 pounds came off me in the first month. And then, you know, another 15 came off me in the month after that. And then more came off me after that. And I got down to I got down to 217 pounds without going to the gym, without working out a single time, without going on a diet, without trying to give up all the things I love. It just changed the way I looked at things. When I wasn't hungry, I wouldn't eat. You know, it changed my mind. If I drive past the drive-thru, I wouldn't go to the drive-thru. Like, a lot of people, I realize this now that I've been building this business for 2 years, a lot of people, they drink the coffee and it shuts off that mechanism that says you're hungry, and it says you're not hungry, but they still go to the drive-thru. And then they tell me, I'm not losing any weight. Well, duh. You know what? When you're not hungry, don't eat. You know, don't put the crap in you when you're not hungry. And again, I say crap in a you know, a relative way, because I love to just eat whatever tastes good. And Chris was making fun of me before, because here's just a great story. So I was watching the Super Bowl at a friend's house, and I saw a commercial for Facebook. I never saw a Facebook commercial, but we always watch the commercials at Super Bowl, right? Because we want to see what new things are in there. And there was all these celebrities. I'm like, what is this commercial? And you couldn't tell, but it was Facebook. I said, Facebook has a commercial? That's weird. I never saw one. And it was for making a group on Facebook. Make a group of something you like to do. And I was like, whoa. And it struck me. And on my drive home, I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to make a group tomorrow for just something that's nothing to do with business, nothing to do with anything, just something fun. And what could it be? What could it be? What could it be? And I woke up the next day and I said, you know what? I'm going to start a group for chicken wings. Huh? Yeah, chicken wings. So I did. I started a group. Check it out. It's called Wing Addicts. So Wing Addicts is my group. And so here's what's funny. Since that day, I go to all these restaurants multiple times a week. I order chicken wings everywhere I can go. I make videos, kind of like the food channel. I have like a whole YouTube channel now, Wing Addicts. All right. And I have eaten over 500 chicken wings since we started this quarantine. And I've lost 3 pounds. How does that happen? How can that I don't know. I don't know how it can happen, but here's my routine. I wake up in the morning, I get a cup of Max with keto cream, okay? Later on, around 1 or 2, I go get chicken wings somewhere. And even though it's funny, I'm not really hungry when I go get them. I'm just doing it because it's fun. And then I'm pretty much not hungry for dinner or anything else. And usually I'm not even hungry the next day after I eat those chicken wings. But I challenge anybody here to eat 500 chicken wings in the next 3 months and lose 3 pounds. It's because I don't go for the crap when I'm not hungry. I don't want to go. And by the way, when I'm eating chicken wings, I'm usually drinking beer. I mean, you do what you can do. We have something so amazing here. And if you think that story is amazing, here we are in this quarantine where most people are gaining weight like it's their job. Not only am I not gaining any weight and doing whatever I want anyway, but this is to me the most amazing thing. And I feel like it sounds arrogant to say this, but I'm not arrogant in any way. I don't care about money. I am not scared. I am not afraid that I'm going to lose my house or not be able to pay my bills. Because for the last 2 years, I've been sharing this coffee with people, and I'm blessed. You know, and people say, how are you holding up? How am I holding up? I've been practicing for this my whole life. I sit home every day and do nothing. But talk about coffee and chicken wings. What could be better than that? So guys, we're entrepreneurs in this company, and all we have to do, you know, Chris is like the greatest trainer in this company, talking about mindset and what you need to know. To be trained in this company, you need to share the stupid coffee. That's all you need to do. And then work on yourself, work on your mindset. You're an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs lose a whole lot and they win sometimes. And when they win, they can win really big. And here's a place where we can win really big. And all we have to do is share the stuff. Thank God we don't have to make the coffee. We don't have to explain the coffee. We just have to get people to drink the coffee. And so that's what we've got. And I mean, we're super blessed. I mean, are you ever doing as well as you want to? No. When you're doing as well as you want to, it might be time to just check out, I guess. You know, you're always moving forward and you know, having fun. And if it's not fun, don't do it. But I mean, how is it not fun? I mean, Chris said something, and I'll shut up. I know I ramble. I get off on a tangent. I'm sorry. But Chris said the magic word, and it's my favorite word in the whole word, and it's belief. Belief. If you believe you can change your life doing this, you will. If you don't believe you can, you won't. It's kind of really just that simple.
Awesome.
Thanks, Chris.
Tommy. Now, I'm not sure if Maria was open to be able to talk real quick or not. I know you said you had some dental fun stuff.
My mouth is fine. It's ready to go.
All right, perfect. Awesome. Share real quick, and then I'm going to share a couple stories, and we'll close this bad boy out.
Sure. Hey guys, I am Maria Giambrone. For those of you who don't know me, I am from New York City, in case you couldn't tell. And I've been with the company, literally next week will be 3 years. And I'm blown away by what has gone on in the past 3 years. So we've been drinking, my husband and I have been drinking the coffee for literally for 3 years, and we love it. And just a little background, guys, I'm also certified in holistic nutrition and functional diagnostic nutrition and a whole bunch of different things. So I do have a background in nutrition and weight loss and stuff like that. I never, ever promote these products as weight loss, because then I have to go back to being the health coach, right? So I always focus on mindset. I always focus on how it makes me feel, the elevated mood. I focus on all of the things that it elevates instead of focusing on the weight loss. I'll tell you a quick story. And I think you guys will get a kick out of this because everybody's in the business. But a couple of years, maybe about 1.5 years ago, I share this with my team a lot because I think it's important for people to understand other people's mindset, right? I had a girl who was on the products for about 2 months, and she called me and she's like, listen, it's not working for me. I really don't feel anything. I'm just gonna cancel. And I'm like, all right, I am not in the business of convincing. I know what our products do. I know how they could help people. I know how they helped us. I know how they've helped everybody else. And I'm not going to convince you to continue with the products. So I said, okay, no problem. a couple of months, like 2, 3, 4 months go by, and I see her start to reorder again. And I didn't say anything the first month, and then she ordered a second month. And then I reached out to her and I said, so I see that you're back on, it's not a fluke. I see that you're on, now you're auto shipping it. What's changed? What's going on? And she said to me, oh, it really didn't work for me the first time, but now she was a teacher, or she is a teacher. She said, all the other teachers in my school started doing it and everybody started having such great results. So I figured, let me jump in and see if it works for me. It was the same product that it was a couple of months before. There were no formula changes at that point. It was the exact same product. It was her mindset. She was doing it by herself at first, and she didn't think that it worked. But when she saw all of her friends having success, she wanted to jump on that bandwagon. And guess what? Miraculously, she started having success too, and she was loving it. So you really have to put it into context, the way people are looking at what we have going on. We're all living in the same craziness, right? There's nobody immune to what is going on in this world right now. So, and before I was certified in anything, when people would say, oh, stress plays a big role into weight loss and, stuff like that, I'd be like, that's BS. That's just somebody telling you something because you can't lose weight and they're making an excuse. Guys, it's not. It is not. Like, stress seriously takes a toll on your ability to lose weight. It really seriously 100% takes a toll on your metabolic response. So something that may have worked for you when you were a little less stressed may be harder to work for you now when you are more stressed. And like I said, everybody's going through the same stresses right now. Everybody is either locked in their house, or you're able to go out, you're not able to go out. There's a whole bunch of things going on. People are stressed about employment and stuff like that. So you really have to take that into consideration with what's going on with your body. So even me too, like let's talk about the weight loss portion of it. I've been struggling the past few months, right? And as somebody who teaches people how to eat right and how to, make the supplemental changes to really improve your health, I was even struggling. And I know with me, and it's not just with weight loss, it's not just in business. Anytime there's something that is going along good, or, going along well, and then like you run into a dead end, no matter what it is, with the kids, with school, whatever it is, if something flatlines, you have to figure out a way to revive it. You have to figure out a way to make a change. And that change always comes from you. It's not like, I'll never say to my team, oh, you have to do this, or it's always about me. So if I see things in my business or in weight loss that is flatlining, I make the change within me. So I started noticing, okay, well, the pounds are coming on. And just like everybody else, I was stuck in the house. I was eating more. I wasn't doing the things that I needed to be doing, right? And it's the truth. Like, no matter how much I want to say, oh, well, I'm getting older, that's what's holding, keeping the weight on me. Or, I'm stressed and I'm eating a little bit more. No, I mean, we were all stuck in the house, and I know we were eating like we were going to the chair. So the weight started coming on, and now I needed to take it off. And, I got back on the products, and it wasn't coming off as quick as I wanted. And I'm like, no, Maria, it's you. And just like Lisa said, I just went back to the basics. And I did things like I switched up the timing of the way that I drink my coffee. So normally I would get up and stumble to make my water and, start to make my coffee right away. Well, I just switched that out a little bit. I get up, I have a glass of lemon water. About a half hour later, I drink some celery juice. And then around noon, I have my coffee, and I am good to go. I've been feeling so good just by that little tweak, and I've lost almost 7 pounds this week. So sometimes you have to switch it up. Sometimes take a little bit of, Tommy, you want some celery juice? I know it's not pleasant, but it helps with the liver metabolism. And it's really good for you, but that's not the point of this. The point of this is to just switch things up, add more water into your diet. Like, that's so important. When I talk to people and they say, I drink tons of water, I'm like, oh, that's great. Like, how much water do you drink? And they'll say, well, I drink like, 30 ounces of water. I'm like, you're 200 pounds. That makes no sense to me. Right. So, or they'll say, I always have a bottle of water in my hands, but are you drinking that bottle of water? People tend to walk around a lot all day with a bottle of water and not even take a sip. Like, I'll be with people and I'll see that like an hour will go by and they don't even take a sip. So you really have to be cognizant about changing those little things to get yourself going again. Take maybe a half a cup in the morning and then a half a cup in the afternoon. Just switch it up a little bit. And you'll definitely, Scotch does not work. You definitely will start to see changes. So, and another thing, I tend to sip it for a couple of hours, right? I would graze on my coffee because I love it and I just wanted to savor it. And I would sip it for, an hour or two. I stopped that. I drink it straight, right? Like, I'll drink it within 10 or 15 minutes. That cup of coffee is done now. And you will notice that you have different effects. Also, guys, if you are putting, and I know I'm getting all scientific-y with you guys, but if you're putting tons of sugar in it, it's defeating the purpose of the coffee, right? It just is. So that will slow down your weight loss. So make little tweaks like that, make little changes, and you will start to notice a difference. And I hope that helps. And I hope that was quick enough.
Boom. Thank you so much. So guys, there was a lot of different points. It's like, where do I go now from here? What I can share with you, a bunch of things were shared through the last three people that basically there's a bunch of different points that I'm gonna bring in a little bit of skill set to what they talked about. We're also gonna talk, about mindset because everyone brought that side of it up. And then we're going to bring in belief, and then I'm going to close it out with an actual action step of what I did. Last week, I shared a very small portion of it, and I had a whole bunch of people message me, asking me for my affirmations. So I'm going to close it out with actually reading you what I read to myself every single day, multiple times a day. And if you want a copy of it and change it to your own or do something similar, more than happy to share that with you as well. But, I told you I was going to contradict one thing. First off, you have to have belief in the product or you're not going to take action. We all act on feelings. We all do things based on how we feel. And you have to have a positive mindset and you have to have belief. Yet at the same time, if you have the belief and you have a positive mindset and your people skills suck, then it's not as effective as if you start to learn how to communicate with people. And because we have simplicity in what we do, we have a simple enough system that anybody can learn what we use as scripts. And I know different teams might use a little bit different, but it's really this simple. Guys, if you could ask two questions. One, do you know anybody drinks coffee? And number two, have you heard about the happy coffee that everyone's been talking about? And then either share a story, connect them to a group, and then if they start asking questions, shut up and refer them to somebody else. If you can do that, that is like the skill side of what we do. And of course, one of the skills is listening more than you talk. So when I got started in this industry, I became a student of the industry and I learned everything I could from sales to marketing to personalities and all this stuff. And I'm going to share because I think this is the most important skill set you can work on is how you make people feel. How you make people feel through, your communications, the way you treat your team, the way you act with your team. Like guys, first off, we have a lot of calls. Like we're going to have tomorrow, we're going to have our Wednesday night call we have with Garrett and them, which is the What's Up Weekly. Then we have the Thursday night call, which this week Tommy Wyatt will do. And there's dynamic people every single week that do that. And then we'll do a Sunday night call. So the Thursday night call is about how do I set up the activity to plug people into the Sunday night call, right? And then we're doing team Zooms and all these other things. And some people might go, well, this is a lot of time. Well, this is a beautiful part. This is your business, and you can do whatever the world you want. If you want to be on 1 call, 2 calls, all the calls, great. If you want to be on them live or watching the replay, hey, that's great too. I recommend you plug into everything that you can. Let's be real, guys. People spend hours and hours every week watching freaking TV. Just use the time that you would be watching TV to plug into these calls, because I'm so busy, I can't get on these calls. Well, you have time to watch American Idol or The View or whatever the other shows are. I don't even know what they are. You know, I'm watching all these posts. Oh, I just watched the whole series of Ozark. Let's watch the whole series of this, a whole series of that. And then you say I didn't have time to be on a call. This is the reality. And I talked a little bit last week about having a clear vision of why you're doing this and knowing what you're working for. And the reason why is because if you don't know why you're doing it, you just won't do it because it's not important enough. So one, having and knowing why you're doing it, but more importantly, what it's going to feel like, what it's going to look like, and start working on your skill set. So this is, you know, you heard multiple people mention quarantine. Right now, the alcohol sales are 30 to 40% higher than average. People are spending more money on alcohol and sitting around the house drinking alcohol. And I promise you, that's not, oh, I'm too busy. They have plenty of time to drink alcohol, right? So they have time to jump on a call. And if you know what your dreams are, what your goals are, what these calls are, is like we have these phones, right, that are connected to us all the time. And we're like crazy people when the battery starts to go dead. And we feel like, oh my gosh, I can't let my battery go dead. We will literally, I've watched people sit next to a plug in the airport. They'll stand like next to it, watching their phone charge. But then they'll say they don't have time to jump on a call. Guys, this is an electronic device, but your brain and the way that you think in your dreams, if you don't recharge your dreams, they will die just like the battery on this thing. So it makes sense to, if you're going to plug in your phone because you're worried about this dying, why in the world would you not plug in your dreams? Plug into the things that the teams are doing. Plug into the things that the company's doing. Because we don't want to let our phone die, but it's okay to let our dreams die. It's okay to let, you know, other things. I heard, and next week we'll have Bob jump on and we'll talk to him about this because he played, you know, I believe he went to a Super Bowl and all that. And we were talking about team effort and all that stuff. But guys, the thing is that, I forgot where I was going with that one. But at any rate, I'm going to have him share next week. But there was something I wanted to say right there. I forgot it. Oh, shoot. Oh, he was talking about how they will weed out people. Like they don't even think about it. When people start getting negative and their mind's not right, the team will cut them like nothing. Like, boom, they're gone. Because weeds grow faster than the good grass. And it brought me to thinking, you know, I was where I keep my boat, my buddy's place, you know, has a nice grass lawn and all that we park in. And every year around this time, the weeds, these stickers, will stick the hell out of you to where you don't want to walk anywhere on the grass. And the grass looks beautiful, but there's these weeds. And the thing is that you have to, in your life and your mind, when it comes to negativity, you have to kill the weeds because the weeds will take over. And if we don't do some weed and feed and put out to kill the weeds and grow the good grass, guys, it will tear your business apart faster than anything. You have to block out the negative. You have to block out the people that are the naysayers. You have to block out the people that are trying to steal your dream. You wouldn't let somebody come in your living room and just start peeing on your rug. Why do you let them pee in your ear? People let people pee negativity into their brain, and then they start to believe that stuff. But you would never let somebody do that in your living room, but you let them do it to your dreams. I mean, it's just craziness, right? Like if a friend of yours opened up your car door and then just sat down and like, Like you would kill them. You would beat them up. You would be like, are you out of your mind? Like, what's wrong with you, person? And then you let them pee in your ear. You let them pee negativity in your ear, and you wonder why you're letting your dreams die. Guys, you have to cut the weeds out of your life. And I promise you, it takes way more positive to block out negative. And I'll show this example. I'm not going to talk about it tonight, but there's an example I can show that, guys, I put hours and hours and hours of personal development in to block out all the other crap. And you turn on the TV nowadays, oh my gosh, the craziness that's going on. But what you're not seeing is all the great, awesome things that patriots and Americans or whatever country you live in, people that are heroes, they're out there doing. But what we see is all the negative. We see all the bad stuff. We see that, and then we wonder why we have bad attitudes. So you have to weed that stuff out. You have to be able to basically reset your thermostat. So real quick, I'm going to share this other story. Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine who's a really smart guy. He's a CPA, and but he's a know-it-all. And I started to share as I started to learn all this stuff in the industry. And I started to basically get good at certain things. Oh, it made me feel so cool and feel important. Like, oh, look at what I know, right? And if you want to lead a big team, it's about how do you make your team feel? So there's one side where, and I had an upline that would literally get on the calls. This was back in 2010. And he would basically get on the call and tell everybody, hey, if you need my help, I'm there for you. And I'm going to do this for you. And I'm going to do that for you. And then when people would call him, because I edify him, then he would want to tell me that I'm not doing what I need to be doing with the team because he's getting all these calls. I'm like, well, silly, if you get on a call and tell everybody that you're going to do everything for everybody, then guess what? Then they're going to call you. And then, so don't get upset when they do what you told them to do. But why do people do that is because they want to feel significant. And I did that. So I remember when I wanted to be that for everyone. And guys, if you want to build a huge team in this industry, hey, some of y'all just want to make an extra $500 and that's cool. But an extra 1,000, that's cool. But if you want to build a legacy and you want to build something that is going to last the test of time, you have to build a leadership factory. And if you want to feel significant, it's pretty freaking simple, guys. Pour into other people and build them up and tell everybody how amazing they are. And tell them how great they are and what kind of amazingness that this person is. And every person you get in on the phone with or on a call with, when you're doing calls with your team, edify the other person. And I promise you, you will get more significance and more edification and more people will tell you how amazing you are when you do that versus you telling everybody how amazing you are yourself. And I've watched this over the years, 20 years in this industry. I've watched people and they acquire skill sets, but then they want to tell everybody how great they are. They want to tell everybody, oh, what they're doing and stuff like that. And that's not what makes people feel amazing. What makes people feel significant is you make them feel important. And if you want to feel significant, the more significant you make other people feel, the more significant they're going to make you feel. It's called the law of reciprocity. When you give to other people, and Tommy knows this more than anybody else because he has a book called Appreciation Marketing. It's a phenomenal book. Message him to find out. The guy's a master at it. And anytime I've ever been on a call with him, he's always edifying other people and making other people feel amazing. Always. Every single call. If you're on a corporate call, he'll get on and edify. Every time. And guess what? Everyone loves the guy. Everyone gives him love and accolades because the way that he makes other people feel. So when I said you have to build a skill set, the skill set is on making people feel love and connection. Making people feel important. Letting people know that they matter. Making them feel significant. And then the other side of it is contribution. Letting people know that the little things that they do that they might think are insignificant and they don't matter, You know, the one customer, I got this. You know, well, you're a super galactic, whatever rank you are. You know, my one customer did make a difference. Well, what if you made them know that that did make a difference? Because guys, when you really understand network marketing, it's about getting a large group of people to do a few simple things over and over and over again. When you hear about these teams that double in a month, or when you see an organization that they just keep growing and growing and growing, it's not that one person grew the thing. That's not the way it works. What happens if, let's say for instance, you have 10 people in your group, 10, not a huge organization, and everybody does one customer this month. Well, next month, you love on everybody. Oh my gosh, so amazing. You got one customer, you're a rock star, great job. And what if you help them believe that they can get 2? And then they go get 2 customers. Well, now you went from 10 customers in your organization to 20, you just doubled your team. Guys, it's really no more complicated than that on the large scale. And we've been able to experience this. We actually watched our business go from 500,000 to $1 million difference in 1 month. And the difference is to understand that every single person on your team matters. And more importantly, help them understand that they matter. See, that's the skill set we need to work on as entrepreneurs, because what we do is we're elevating other people. We're elevating and pushing other people into the spotlight to where they get to be the one. You know, and that's why, like, when they asked me to do the Mindset Mondays for everyone and all that, and I asked some other people to be on, and we're going to continue to ask people to be on, because it's not about me. It's not about, you know, it's not about the Triple Crowns. It's not about whatever. It's about helping everyone get recognized for what they do and the value that they bring. And then the last thing, again, you're going to hear me talk about this over and over and over again. The last one is growth. We're either growing or we're dying. And if we're not growing as a person, if we're not growing as a team, if we're not growing as whatever, then that will beat us up. And we start to, you know, focus on that. And we start to think, you know, well, maybe blah, blah. And we think that, you know, I'll use a dating analogy. You know, everybody wants to be a part of the exciting whatever. But when you've been doing the same thing, the same company for years, you know, you have to learn how to reinvent yourself. And you have to learn how to keep the excitement. Because, I mean, I've been married for now 20 years, right? And she doesn't let me date new people every couple months to bring, you know, because you know how it is when you're dating and you start dating somebody and you date them and everything's wonderful, peachy, oh, great. And after you're together for a little while, you know, the honeymoon's over, no more opening the door, no more all the cute things you did before you don't do anymore. Well, guess what? You have to learn how to basically keep the fire there, not only in your relationships, but in your business. Or the flame will die. Your belief will die on what is possible. And guys, you don't want to be that person that goes and jumps from relationship to relationship or from business to business. It's the same thing. It's not fulfilling. It's not, it doesn't bring what you need. And so this is the way that I would look at this. Basically, you need to take ownership that this is your company. Because I can tell you that, you know, talking with all the leaders, I'm seeing a renewed fire to where people are reinventing themselves and their belief systems and what we have. Because what we're seeing is that the vision and what we wanted to create in the beginning is finally starting to come to fruition. And the leadership from the corporate side is getting together with the leadership in the field side and making sure that we're in alignment to create the billion-dollar company and be the change in the industry that we've been talking about for 2 years. So the thing is that you can either take ownership and basically be a part of it, or you can just go talk about what the other people did. Because what I'm going to tell you is that we will take this company to $1 billion. We will be the change in the industry. We will be that place that the average person can win in a big, big way. The question is, are you going to be a part of it? Are you going to see your dreams come true? Are you going to basically not give up on yourself? Are you going to keep plugging in and focus on what you said that you wanted to create and have that same feeling on why you got started in the first place? Just like in that relationship. What did you see in that person to begin with? Guys, this should be a growth that we have together. This should be something that we can go out there and be the change in the industry. But it starts with you. The only person that has control of the way that you feel, the only person that has control of, the way that you act or react to things is you. And all we can do is make the first circle work, which is you. It's not your upline, it's not your downline, it's not anybody else. It's all about you. And your choice on how you react to things is going to make all the difference in your world. What I'm going to tell you is that in the last 2 years, our life has absolutely changed. And more importantly, it's changed because we helped a whole bunch of people change their lives. So let's go out there this month. Let's make July your best month. Today is the day that you can start over. Today, every day you can wake up and say, today's going to be better than yesterday. Today is the month, today is the day that I'm starting over and I'm creating what it is that I said that I wanted to create. And let's go out there because we are the leaders of this company. It's our choice, it's our decision, and it's our obligation to go out there and show people how to go out there and do it. Not talk about it, but show people how to go out there and do this. And we start today. Let's make a goal. Let's make a pact together that not only we're going to pack this call out next week bigger, that we're going to pack out the Wednesday call, we're going to pack out the Thursday call, and more importantly, we're going to pack out the Sunday call. And let's go out there and double our teams this month. Let's go double this company over the next few months. And all it takes is every one of us doing a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. With that being said, I'm done. So just went off on a rant, gosh dog. But I just want to let you guys know that love you guys. We appreciate you all. We are just really standing on the shoulder of all you giants. You guys are the ones that make this all happen. Take responsibility, take ownership, and let's go out there and grow this company to what we know it can be. Everybody have an awesome day.
Thanks, Chris.
Buddy.
That was awesome.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Oh, wonderful.
Brother.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks,
Well
Black
done,
Cole.
everybody.